It's a gloomy Wednesday night for some A10 women's basketball as the Loyola Chicago Ramblers travel to the Bronx to take on the Fordham Rams. Fordham Rams 1-6 in the conference, including a current 4-game losing streak. They're going to do anything they can tonight to get a conference win. And on the other side, the Loyola Chicago Ramblers, they're hot as of late, winning their last 2 games in the conference, including wins at UMass and at home against St. Bonaventure, with a total of a 4-3 record in the A10. Fordham is led offensively by their star, Taylor Donaldson. She's averaging 17 points per game. That's second in the Atlantic 10. And on the other side, it's Alyssa Fisher and Sam Gallinopoulos rounding out that star-studded backcourt in Chicago. Both of them in the top 16 in points per game in the Atlantic 10. They are the engine that makes this Loyola Chicago Ramblers team go. It's Fordham and Loyola Chicago, and it's next. Welcome to the historic Rose Hill Gym here in the Bronx on this gloomy Wednesday night. I'm Chris Carrino, joined by the one and only Julia Moss, and we're just about set for some in-conference Atlantic 10 women's basketball action between the traveling Loyola Chicago Ramblers and the hosting Fordham Rams. Fordham Rams 1-6 in the conference. They are desperate for a win here tonight.
You said it best, Chris. This team is absolutely desperate for a win. Coming off a much-needed bye after dropping their 4th straight loss, falling to Rhode Island 55-44, but Fordham matches up really well against this Loyola Chicago team because Fordham struggled against tall 6-foot-plus guards, which the A10 has a whole lot of. But Loyola doesn't necessarily have that 5'7", 5'8" guards, so it could work in their favor today.
We're just about set, ready to go for action in a few moments. But first, we talked and caught up with Coach Bridgette Mitchell before the game.
Julia Moss with Chris Carrino. We are joined by Fordham women's basketball head coach Bridgette Mitchell. Coach, you just hosted Grow Our Game, hosted it at the Rose Hill Gym. What was that experience like?
It was awesome to see all those little girls come into our space and bring so much joy to our hearts, our players included, teaching them some, triple thread and some skills. We just had a really good time.
Coach, prime opportunity for an Atlantic 10 conference win tonight. Offensively specifically, what are you kind of looking for tonight?
Yeah, for us, we have to execute our zone offense, right? Loyola's a team that does a lot of make-miss, and then teams recently have been playing us in zone because our shots haven't been falling. So we got to look to pound the ball inside, and that's going to be a really big test for us. We got to show what we know.
And Loyola Chicago preseason was projected to finish dead last in the A10, now have 4 early wins in Atlantic 10 play. What about their game has surprised you in particular?
Nothing. They have a great coach. She does a really good job. She had a lot of success at Yale, so it's no surprise that they are where they are, and they're going to continue to get better. That's the goal of every coach within our conference. I think that preseasons are always challenging to pick and choose a team and where you're going to fall, and so that's something that she's been able to do well with her team.
We're in late January now, really the grind of the season. You guys just came off your first bye week. What in that bye week, that kind of time away, did you kind of keep your girls focused and keep everyone really ready to go?
We definitely gave them 2 days off to kind of refocus and kind of do what they needed to do. And then again, as I mentioned before, our zone offense. And it's been kind of a consistent theme for us in terms of everybody needs to be a threat in our team. We talk about it a lot, and now it's time to be about it, right? So if you can score the ball, it's time to score the ball. And so that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Welcome back to the Rose Hill Gym. Fordham hosting the Loyola Chicago Ramblers in this in-conference women's basketball matchup. We talked a little bit about Fordham before the game, but I want to take it to the other sideline. This Loyola Chicago team, they've had a ton of recent success in the conference, a bit of a mixed bag in the beginning of the season, but they've really picked it up.
Absolutely. I mean, they were projected to finish dead last, and that's saying a lot considering where the A-10 is now, but where the A-10 now is a lot better than people expected, and Loyola Chicago embodies that entirely. And how did that happen? Through both the returners and the transfers and the newcomers they decided to replace the outgoing talent with. We talk about Sam Gallinopoulos, who's been the heart and soul of this team for a number of years now, and she's coming off a game where she secured herself as a 1,000-point scorer, so she's absolutely riding momentum. Loyola Chicago in general is riding momentum. They just came off a game against St. Bonaventure, the largest win under the current head coach's tenure, which says a lot about what they're hoping to continue today here in the Rose Hill Gym.
Yeah, we talked with Coach B before the game. I brought up, we're kind of in late January now, really at the grind of the season, and both these teams seemingly in different places, but maybe it'll be a close one today. It's gearing up to be a close one today. This Fordham team may be playing under their potential. How do they play to that potential that they have, all that talent?
Continue the defense we've seen, but add in offensive production. It feels like a broken record if you've been tuning in to broadcasts of the past. It's something we've said over and over again. This defense is too good for the offense to be so bad, because that potential is absolutely there, especially considering how good the defense is. And if they can just get someone going, whether that's Taylor Donaldson, Amy Hayford, but I think what's missing is that tertiary, that third scorer for this Fordham team. And when you think of who that could be, number one for me is Matilda Flood. She has the ability. She's been on a shooting slump for quite a while now, but don't let that fool you, because she has the ability to be that third option on the court.
You mentioned Taylor Donaldson before, just now. She is seemingly the engine offensively for this Fordham team. She has the second most points per game in the conference with 17 a game. What does she have to do tonight to really take over?
I think the scoring and the field goal attempts are always going to be there, right? It's just the making those field goals, of course, as a scorer, but I think using the fact that Loyola Chicago knows that that's going to be their first option scoring, maybe taking away some of the pressure from other players and getting them more open, because she's going to have those shots whether the other team wants to or wants it to happen or not. But using the attention she's going to get on the court could really help a lot for Fordham.
Starting lineups tonight for both teams. First for the Loyola Chicago Ramblers, it's Alyssa Fisher, Sam Gallinopoulos, Satori Tannen, Allie Berg, Thorana Kika Hajkar. That rounds out the starting five for Loyola Chicago. On the other side for the home Fordham Rams, it's Taylor Donaldson, Amy Hayford.
Switching between a lot of post play. We've seen Kayla Harris start the past few games, and now Amina Lee, who's still getting back into the rotation from that concussion she suffered pretty much a month ago at this point. It's good to see her starting, and it's good to see that she's at a health level to make a difference on the court, because, man, when she's on the court, she does make a difference. She's great on the defensive end, but the height she provides, specifically against Loyola Chicago, is huge.
It's a whiteout here tonight at the Rose Hill Gym. The Fordham coaching staff in their white quarter zips, cheerleaders and dancers in white, and of course the Fordham Rams in white. Their home white going right to left, and the Loyola Chicago Ramblers in their burgundy going left to right. It'll be Mandy McGurk on the right wing, guarded heavily back, top of the key to Taylor Donaldson. Around to Rose Nelson screen, she's on the left wing now. 15-foot jumper, no good off front rim, and it'll be gathered by the Ramblers. It's now Fisher, drifting over to the right wing, assuming the offense. Berg picking it up around the block F. In the left corner, driving to the rim, no good for Tannen, and a rebound from Rose Nelson. Fordham's going the other way. Mandy McGurk outlet past Amy Hayford, right corner to Taylor Donaldson. She drives inside and gets a bit stuck. Back out to Rose Nelson on the right wing. Nice pass to Mandy McGurk, driving inside. Her right-handed layup, no good. And now Loyola going the other way. On the right wing, it's Tannen, back top of the key to Berg. Her three, no good, off back iron. Offensive rebound for the Ramblers, and back top of the key is Fisher. Fisher. Oh, a walk is called there, seemingly picked it up, being guarded by the much bigger Amina Lee at the top of the key, and that'll be Fordham ball.
And that's something we see a lot when Fordham hits the court. Other teams traveling, and that might not seem on paper something that has a lot to do with Fordham, but the pressure they provide really incites a lot of travels.
Mandy McGurk, right at the center, top of the key. Amy Hayford on the right wing, driving inside through the middle of the paint. Uses a stutter step to get in and finishes with the left hand. Impressive play from Amy Hayford.
And that's her favorite move on the court. She likes to stop her dribble, make the defender think she's got no more steps left, take that last step for the layup. It fools defenders time and time again.
A little press here from the Fordham Rams. Ramblers having trouble getting it out of the backcourt into the front court. They eventually do. They find Berg in the right corner. She'll pass top of the key. Fisher, her three. It's good. Alyssa Fisher, top of the key. She has been fantastic from the three-point line this year.
Loyola Chicago doing a press of their own, which is interesting to see both teams coming out the gate with that much defensive pressure.
Amy Hayford on the left wing, behind the arc, passing top of the key to McGurk. McGurk getting directions from Coach Mitchell. Now driving to the right wing, pass to Taylor Donaldson. Taylor Donaldson through the middle, now to Amy Hayford, around the free throw line, drives inside, behind the back dribble. Amina Lee gets the offensive rebound and puts it up, misses the layup, gets another offensive rebound, and that one gets to go. 2 offensive rebounds and a finish for Amina Lee.
And that's exactly what you get when Amina Lee is healthy and on the court. She uses all 6'4" of her frame to get those offensive rebound and those layups.
Loyola Chicago still trying to get it past half court on this press. They do. Berg has it right corner, top of the key. Gallinopoulos now on the left block, going out to the left corner, guarded by Amina Lee in the corner. In the post now, Tannen spinning on Rose. Back in the right corner now, top of the key. No good on the floater from Haj Carr. Mandy McGurk's going to have it going the other way. Amy Hayford now going through the middle of the lane, contested layup, no good. Rose Nelson gets the offensive rebound. Back out, top of the key. Taylor Donaldson, her three. It's good. Taylor Donaldson with the three.
Unreal to see Taylor Donaldson that open on the far side arc, but that's what she does. She makes you pay for leaving her that open.
7-3 Fordham Rams early. In the left corner, it's Tannen, her three, nothing but air. Now it's going to be a bit of a scrum on the ground. Jump ball is called. The possession arrow is with Loyola Chicago. 7-3 with 6:25 to go in the first quarter. Rose Nelson now taking it out under her own basket. It's actually Fordham ball. My mistake. Oh, no. Rose was wrong, actually. Rose Nelson was wrong, actually. It'll be Alyssa Fisher taking it out under the basket for Loyola Chicago. Gallinopoulos now has it on the right wing, passing inside to Haj Carr. Picked up on a double team in the post. Gallinopoulos now has it, right corner. Top of the key to Fisher. Her three, no good, off back iron. Rebound by Taya Davis. Taya Davis, outlet pass to Taylor Donaldson. She has it on the right wing. Has it behind the arc, top of the key to Rose Nelson. Drop step, drop pass inside to Lee. Back out to Amy Hayford, top of the key. Amy Hayford, dribble handoff, Taylor Donaldson. Straight away beyond the arc, her three, no good. Rebound by Berg. Now Gallinopoulos has it in transition. Nice drop pass to Tannen. Tannen now backing down her defender. eventually can't hold on to it, and it's going to go the other way with Fordham.
Turnover force early from Fordham right there. Love the defensive intensity we're seeing so far, but on the offensive end, they only have 7 points so far, which is honestly more than they're usually putting up in the first quarter. But it's been the passes in motion that are really, really good so far, and it's leading to more open shots than we're typically used to seeing Fordham able to get against defenses.
Taya Davis bringing it up. Kayla Berry getting it in the left corner to McGurk. Top of the key to Taya Davis. She's going to look around. Right corner, Taylor Donaldson. Back top of the key to Berry. Down inside. Harris finishes. The pump fake and finish for Harris inside. Haj Carr now has it. Receiving a trap right by Coach B. And she went back and forth both ways, and it's going to go the other way toward Fordham. Another turnover for this Loyola Chicago team.
Fordham benches on their feet after that. A lot of early turnovers for Loyola, and all of them a result of the pressure Fordham is providing. Loyola also providing pressure in their defense, but Fordham seeming to deal with it quite well. Loyola, on the other hand, not so much.
McGurk now has it, top of the key, dribble handoff to Donaldson. Donaldson has it around the free throw line to Taya Davis on the left wing. She'll drive around the free throw line, pass into Harris. A lot of contact under the rim. A foul is called, and Kayla Harris will go to the line for two.
You can't overstate the progress we're seeing in just the first few minutes of this first quarter in the passing attack for Fordham.
Yeah.
It's a big issue for Fordham this season has been taking the shot clock down to single digits before they even get a look. That is absolutely not the case so far today, and that's just been from unselfish play. But more importantly, players without the ball getting open through off-ball cuts, baseline cuts, pick and roll in that case. It's been incredible to see so far.
Yeah, there's a new sense on the offensive end of activity and energy for this Fordham team. You can feel the discrepancy. Kayla Harris now taking her second after making the first and makes the second. 2 for 2 for Kayla Harris. It's now 11-3 Fordham with 5 minutes to go in the first. Again, trying to break this press. They eventually do. It's Tannen right at the top of the key behind the arc. It's now Gallinopoulos, top of the key, trying to find Berg on the left wing. She does her three. It's good. Allie Berg on that left wing. It's now 11-6 Fordham. Taya Davis now bringing it up for Fordham. Pass to Taylor Donaldson on the left wing. She'll pass to McGurk on the right wing. Back to Taya Davis. Taya Davis around the free throw line. Back to Taylor Donaldson, right corner. Back to Taya Davis. Taya Davis, double crossover, push to the lane, and right-handed finish. Impressive drive from Taya Davis. Loyola coming out fast on the other end. It's Berg, top of the key three. No good for Berg. Didn't get that one to go, and now Taya Davis is going to be bringing it up the other way. Now Donaldson pushing it fast the other way through the lane. Her left-handed finish is good. Taylor Donaldson very active early. Gallinopoulos trying to get some sort of offense going for this Ramblers team. Coach Guth does not look happy for the Ramblers. Gallinopoulos, top of the key, moves toward the left elbow, pass to Fisher. Fisher now has it straight away behind the arc. A pass on the right wing to Berg. In the right corner to Tannen. Tannen driving baseline, stopping. Passing cross court in the left. Haj Carr, her three from the left. No good. And that will go Fordham's way.
It's been an interesting first quarter for this. I mean, that's the biggest word we can use is interesting.
Yeah.
Against Loyola, particularly, utilizing the full court press and the trap game can be really tricky because this Loyola Chicago team is fourth in team three-point percentage in the A-10. So when you're trapping players, if math serves you well, that leaves someone else open if two players are guarding one. And we've seen a few three-pointers left open that they've made, but Fordham is willing to take that with the good, and the good has been the score is 15-6 so far.
Yeah, you said it earlier in the game. We're not really used to Fordham team scoring this many points this early into the game. Talked a little bit about the pace and the activity of the offense, but what else in the offense really has them with this point total right now?
I alluded to it earlier in mid-play, but just the off-ball movement. There's different plays, different offensive plays happening. There's off-ball screens. It's like every time I look up, there's 2 or 3 screens being set at the same time. And that confuses a defense because there's so much going on, you don't know who to guard, especially if you're playing man because you're trying to keep up with your men. 3 screens happen, and that's a lot of switches there. So they're coming out with a new sense of offense, and it's working out really well so far, and especially since we're in A10 play now, they do their homework a lot more than non-conference. So if you've studied up on Fordham or the old Fordham team and they come out like this, that's got to be confusing.
And this Loyola Chicago team, not off to the best start, seemed to be really getting stifled by this Fordham defense early. What can this Loyola Chicago team do to get back in this game?
Continue shutting down Sam Gallinopoulos. She hasn't even gotten a field goal attempt so far. That's been a huge point of emphasis for the Loyola Chicago offense, is get her the ball, get her shots, but she hasn't found a single lane to get a shot up yet, so that's something they've done particularly well so far.
Fordham up early, 15-6 with 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go in the first quarter. We talked with Coach Mitchell before the game about, A10 time. They haven't had the best luck, 1-6, lost their last 4. What would a win here, and a dominant win at that, do for the morale of this Fordham team?
I mean, they're coming off of a bye, a 6-day break into a win where they have a couple more games pretty in close increments. It would mean so much. Their only win so far has been against St. Bonaventure, who is last in the A10 right now, tied with Fordham at the bottom. So that's not exactly a big morale booster if you're beating St. Bonaventure. A win is a win, but Loyola Chicago has 4 wins, 4-3 in the A10. They're a quality team regardless of where they were projected to finish in the preseason. That doesn't matter once the season starts. And Loyola Chicago has been playing some good basketball and riding a lot of momentum coming into this game in particular. So a win right now in this situation, you want to be playing your best basketball in March. That's what every coach says, and they're well on their way to doing that if what they're doing right now continues throughout the game.
Going to be getting right back to action now. The players leaving their huddles. I believe it's Fordham ball. Fordham going to be taking it out under the Loyola Chicago basket. Seems like Loyola is going to come out in some sort of press now. Kira Chivers checking in the game for Loyola Chicago. Tried to break the press up with a pass to Amy Hayford. It's stolen, and now Berg has it on the left wing for Loyola Chicago. Chivers now has it, top of the key. Pass to Berg, top of the key. Now Nolan. Nolan pass around the free throw line to Chivers. Chivers now has it. Back to Nolan, right wing. She drives, backing down Nelson. Back out to her twin sister. Now down inside. Haj Carr. Another pass to Nolan, top of the key. Nolan backing down Hayford. Takes the free throw jumper, no good. And it's going to go Fordham's way.
I want to point out something kind of funny. You have identical twins on the court right now. It can be hard to know which is which. And they've made it just about as hard as you can. One of them's number 14, the other 41. So
yeah, I heard a story about the Morris twins in college. They used to take each other's exams. I wonder if the Nolan twins have a similar system. Taya Davis bringing it up now for Fordham, guarded by Chivers, top of the arc. Now Amy Hayford on the right wing. Back to Davis. Back to Hayford on the right wing. She drives around the free throw line to Donaldson. She takes the left wing jumper, no good from 10 feet. And Nelson tried to save it out of bounds, but it's going to go Loyola Chicago's way. Nolan and Gallinopoulos eventually getting past half court into the front court here. Gallinopoulos on the right wing. Now top of the key. Dribble handoff to Berg. Berg driving through the middle of the lane. She'll take an 8-foot jumper around the A10 logo. It's good. And Loyola Chicago shortening that lead to 7. It's now 15-8 Fordham. Taya Davis bringing it up on the right side. Pass to Amy Hayford on the right wing. She looks around for a pass, finds Taylor Donaldson in the middle of the paint. Dump pass to Amina Lee down inside, misses the layup. Berg gets the rebound for the Ramblers. And now Loyola's going the other way. Chivers playing with some pace the other way. She'll eventually pull up and let the rest of her offense develop. Gallinopoulos now has it. Top of the key. In the right corner to Berg. Berg going baseline. Tried to get it to Gallinopoulos. Top of the key. It's stolen by Taya Davis. Pass in transition to Amy Hayford. No good on the layup. Bit sloppy play there in transition. Loyola going the other way now. It's Chivers. Back to Gallinopoulos. Top of the key. Or on the right wing, rather. Pass to Berg on the top of the arc. Nolan, left wing to Gallinopoulos. Her left elbow jumper is good. It's good for Gallinopoulos. It's now a 15-10 lead for Fordham with just under a minute to go here in this first quarter. Very fast first quarter so far. Taya Davis using that crossover, trying to get inside, could not. Now Taylor Donaldson has the right wing to Rose Nelson, top of the key. Amy Hayford, now Taya Davis, back to Taylor Donaldson, top of the key. Rose Nelson dump passing to Amina Lee in the post. Nice pass to Rose Nelson as she drived inside. No good on the shot. And now Loyola is going to once again get it back. Loyola playing with some momentum. Contested layup on Rose Nelson. No good for Nolan. And now Fordham's going the other way. Taylor Donaldson finishing the layup in transition. 15 seconds. Get one last play here for the quarter. Loyola will hold it seemingly. Gallinopoulos. Dribble handoff on the right wing to Nolan. Back top of the key to Berg. Tried to pass it to Gallinopoulos. Nolan thought it was her, and she knocked it out of bounds. It'll be Fordham ball once again.
Fordham doing an excellent job, not only turning the ball over, or forcing turnovers rather, because that's only half the battle if you want to win the game. The points off turnovers are particularly important as well, and they already have 6 points off of turnovers, and that's been the other part that Fordham has struggled with, is making other teams pay for those turnovers. They're doing a good job here.
As the first quarter will wind down, it's 17-10 Fordham after the first. We'll be right back with WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
We're back here in the historic Rose Hill Gym. The Fordham Rams off to a hot start, 17-10 after the first. They've been super impressive in this first quarter.
Absolutely. I mean, this has been incredible for Fordham because this is the most points they've scored in a first quarter since LaSalle, which is very good if you're talking about how you want to start the game. But more importantly, they've been able to hold Loyola Chicago to just 10 points, which is something they also don't do very often. It's been a combination of a lot of things they've been trying to work on coming to fruition on the court tonight.
This Fordham team we've seen all season long has struggled on the road, so these home games, especially in conference opportunities, so important for them to at least take advantage of it. The last Fordham game last week, they had the bye coming into this week, their first of 2 byes this season. They lost last Wednesday at Rhode Island, 55-44. Just not enough points in that game, only 44 points. After the first quarter, they're already at 17.
I mean, that's been the funny thing about this team so far is you look at the final scores and you're like, you're only giving up like 50 points a game. That is not bad. That's above average in Atlantic 10 women's basketball. But the issue is they're only scoring like high 30s, low 40s oftentimes. That's not going to win you any basketball games. It doesn't matter if you have the entire Atlantic 10 all defense on your team. You have to score to win games. The points on the board at the end of the game is what matters. And I think Fordham has been really emphasizing on that fact and honing in their offense. We've seen plays today that we haven't seen all season, so there's clearly an understanding of offense hasn't been good this season. Something needs to change, and it's good to see that. It's specifically getting shots up before there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and there's more of an understanding, I think, too, of what they're trying to do on the offensive end. A lot of players looking confused in the games of the past of, what should we do at this point? Where should we set a screen? And that's expected when you bring in as many new players as you have. But it seems to all be coming together, at least in this first quarter. I don't want to get too ahead of myself,
yes,
of course.
But I do agree, this Fordham offense, just a different vibe tonight. Taya Davis bringing it out from the inbound. She has it, standing on the block F. Amy Hayford has it on the right wing. She'll take a dribble handoff from Harris, driving into the lane, and she'll get called for the offensive foul as Alyssa Fisher flies into the Fordham cheerleaders. It'll be Loyola ball going the other way. Chivers bringing it up. Another press here with Amy Hayford and Taya Davis. They eventually break it. It's now Chivers, top of the key, guarded by Amy Hayford, the much larger Amy Hayford. She's trying to assume the offense with her hands. Eventually a dribble handoff. Back right corner to Nolan, and Nolan stepped on the out-of-bounds line in the right corner. It's going to go back Fordham's way.
And that's going to be Loyola Chicago's 6th turnover at the start of this second quarter. We're not very far into the game, but a player I want to highlight is Amina Lee. She's not on the court right now, but she has made a difference in this game. Already has 4 rebounds in the first quarter. She only had 7 total against URI, so her being back is really important.
A few of those were on the same play as well. As Amy Hayford now has it on the right wing, she'll drive right around the right elbow. She's kind of stuck here looking for Taylor Donaldson. She finds her top of the key. Playing with not a ton of urgency. Taya Davis on the left wing, back to Amy Hayford. Amy Hayford driving through the middle, through the lane. Right-handed finish over her defender. Another impressive finish from Amy Hayford. It's now Gallinopoulos bringing it up, guarded by Amy Hayford. Gallinopoulos scoring her 1,000th point in their last game against St. Bonaventure. She now has it top of the key. Gallinopoulos driving through the paint. Tried to pass it back at the top of the key. Nobody there. And Fisher will pick it up in the backcourt. It'll be a backcourt violation. And another turnover for this Loyola Chicago team.
Exactly what you want to see if you are Fordham, because these extra possessions are what's going to help you. And they've made, as I mentioned before, made Loyola pay a lot in that first quarter. Let's see if it continues here in the second.
Yeah, Harris now has it right around the free throw line in the right corner to Amy Hayford. She passed it in the post to Berry. Berry shaking her defender. Tried to pass it in the opposite left corner to McGurk. It was intercepted, but it will stay with Fordham. Kayla
Berry incredibly lucky there. That was in the arms of Fisher. Just bounced off her chest, really. That absolutely should have been a turnover, but Fordham and Kayla Berry get lucky to remain possession here.
McGurk takes it out under the basket. She now has it right around the free throw line. She'll try to pass it inside to Harris. Kick ball violation is called. It'll once again stay with Fordham. Amy Hayford, or actually no, they'll be taking out under the basket actually. Got bamboozled by the referees for a second.
Amy Hayford was bamboozled as well. She was headed to the sideline also.
Seems like it's going to be Taylor Donaldson under the basket. Running some sort of set play here. McGurk has it in the right wing. Some sort of steal. Hoshkar eventually does steal it. Loyola's going the other way. She'll finish it with a right-handed layup. It's now 19-12 Fordham with just over 8 minutes to go in the first half. McGurk now has it. Gets across half court, guarded heavily by Fisher. She has it right around that half court line. Drifts over to the left wing. Now drifts over to the right wing, passing to Berry on the right wing. Berry driving through the middle of the lane in the left corner to McGurk. She drives inside, pass on the right wing to TD. Her three, no good. It's Tannen with the rebound, and Fisher has it, and she'll be bringing it up for the Ramblers.
But just the fact Taylor Donaldson was able to get that open is a testament to the plays that they're running.
Yeah. Fisher, dribble handoff. Back top of the key to Nolan. Now Chivers top of the key. Going through the right lane, stopped. Back Nolan, top of the key. Her three, no good. Straight on. Taylor Donaldson gets the rebound, and she's moving with pace the other way. Taylor Donaldson through the lane, only guarded by one. It's good on the heavily contested layup by Sophia Nolan. It's Taylor Donaldson putting Fordham back up 21-12. Now Nolan has it right wing. She'll drive through the left lane. She has it right in the middle of the paint. Stifling defense from Taylor Donaldson. Bunch of players on the floor. It'll be another jump ball called. And that one will stay with Fordham.
What an impressive layup by Taylor Donaldson on the other end right there. Oh my goodness, she absorbed all of that contact. Honestly, probably should have been a foul. Bounces off of it mid-air, lays it right off the glass and in. That's the kind of stuff you want to see from Taylor Donaldson.
Absolutely. I did think there was a lot of contact there. Now Chivers has it on the right wing. Back top of the key to Fisher. Fisher trying to drive through the right lane, decides not to. Now behind the arc. Now has it around 10 feet, pass to Tannen. Now Fisher once again trying to go through the left lane, guarded heavily by Flood, and Flood will get called for the foul on the layup attempt. And Alyssa Fisher will be going to the line for two.
Felt like there was less contact there than what Taylor Donaldson just went through, but listen, The refs have a much better vantage point than we do. They're right on the play. Got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Always do. It's now Alyssa Fisher going to the line for 2. It's 21-12 Fordham with 6:47 left in this first half. Good on the first one from Fisher. Fisher, a 76% free throw shooter on the year. Definitely one of their more efficient people from the charity stripe. As she makes the second as well, it's now 21-14 Fordham with 6:47 left in the first half. McGurk now has it, bringing it up, getting it past the front court. Now a pass to Amy Hayford on the left wing. Hayford passing in Matilda Flood on the right wing. Flood at the top of the key, pass on the right wing to Hayford. Her three, no good. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll go the other way with the Ramblers.
Good effort from Matilda Flood there, and that's something we've said so many times because that's just the kind of player she is. High effort player. Unlucky there for it to bounce off of her fingers, but she almost got the offensive rebound there, and she is so good at that.
Like I say, Moss, Matilda Flood doing Matilda Flood things. Pass inside from Fisher to Tannen. Heavily contested layup on the smaller McGurk is good. And once again, Loyola shortens this lead, 21-16. McGurk now has it. Right at center court, moves to the left wing, pass to Flood. Flood on the left wing, over a Rose Nelson screen, top of the key, back to Hayford on the right wing, over a Lee screen right down the middle of the court. Nelson in the post downstairs. It's good for Rose Nelson.
That's what you want to see for Fordham because Rose Nelson maybe struggles with confidence a little bit trying to get shots up, but when she does shoot, man, she is so efficient and takes the contact off the right glass and in. Exactly what you want to see.
Fisher now has it top of the key. Tried to get Shivers back door on the right wing, could not get it to her. It's now Ramage at the top of the key. Then Haj Carr driving inside on the right lane, tried to take a layup around the right block, but traveled. And another turnover for Loyola Chicago, and once again it's Fordham ball.
Fordham lucky there too because she had Mandy McGurk in a spin cycle there. She had a wide open layup, and that's honestly the only matchup really on the court in most rotations where Fordham has the lower hand, if you will, in height. Fordham, this is not something we've said at all this season, the much taller team.
Yeah. St. Bonaventure may be the only other team in the conference that they had the height advantage on. And another travel is called, that time in the backcourt on Matilda Flood, and it'll once again be Ramblers ball.
And no contest from Matilda Flood there. She immediately looked to her team and said, that's my bad. Knew she traveled.
With a little smile as well. Gallinopoulos taking out right in front of us on the right wing. She now has it. Dribble handoff to Ramage here on the right wing. Trying to get past Taya Davis. Eventually picks up her dribble inside to Tannen. Tannen guarded by Lee in the post. Back top of the key to Fisher. Fisher driving through the right lane. Up and under layup. No good. A block from Amita Lee. Gets her own rebound. Loyola still has it top of the key. Gallinopoulos now has it around the free throw line. She's driving through the left lane. Another block. That one from Matilda Flood. Now Fordham's going the other way. Taya Davis now has it top of the key. Fordham showing real composure on the offensive end tonight. Giving it to Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. Tried to get it in the post to Matilda Flood. It was blocked by Fisher, but eventually a jump ball was provoked, and it will stay on this side of the court. Timeout was called. It's a media timeout, neither team. 23-16 Fordham with 4:30 left to go in the first half. We're going to take a little break. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
We're back here in the historic Rose Hill Gym Fordham Rams up 23-16 on the Loyola Chicago Ramblers with just 4.5 minutes to go here in this first half. Julia, we didn't want to get our hopes up with the hot start from Fordham, but they've continued that success.
It's great to see. I mean, you look at that Rhode Island game, and it was kind of the floor, if you will, of, oh man, this is not working out very well offensively. The plays weren't working. And what did they do in the next 6 days? They utilized that. Coach B said that they took 2 days off to rest and reset, and maybe that was a difference. Maybe they just needed a break to reset because the A-10 schedule is a gauntlet, and they've had a really tough start. I mean, you think about how other teams view layups, St. Bonnie's, which they did play, but the other teams in those bottom 5, Fordham hasn't really played. They've had to play Davidson and VCU and those teams that are ranked, that are competing for A-10 championships. Fordham hasn't gotten to face a lot of those teams where they might have the upper hand, so it's positive to not only see them winning, but winning against a team that has 4 A-10 wins. It's a happy medium of this is not someone that should mull over them, but it's also someone they should compete with. And so far, Fordham up 23-16. Very good to see.
And I would like to shine a spotlight. Matilda Flood didn't start this game, eventually came on in the second quarter, and she's made quite an impact since coming in the game.
Absolutely. We've talked about Matilda Flood, Miranda Nyborg kind of getting inconsistent minutes. Not too sure as to why that is, but nonetheless, Matilda Flood starting to get back into the rotation. Coach Bridgette Mitchell just trying to find rotations that work and which combination of players work, and that's going to leave some players on the bench for unexpected amount of time while she sees what other players need to do. So it really gives players a sense of urgency when they're on the court that I need to impress, I need to make the most of this time. And Matilda Flood so far, not necessarily in the points, but showing on effort and on defense and offensive rebounds why she's valuable on the court.
Yeah, 9 Fordham players getting in already for this Fordham team. Definitely a trial by committee for this Fordham Ram team tonight. Taylor Donaldson taking an 8-footer on the left wing. No good. Eventually swatted away out of bounds by a Loyola defender. It'll stay with the Fordham Rams. McGurk taking it out under the basket. Pass in the left corner to Donaldson. She'll take a 3. No good. Offside rim. And Tannen will get the rebound. Loyola is now going the other way. Gallinopoulos bringing it up. Has it behind the arc, straight away. Dribble handoff with Fisher. Cut off by Taylor Donaldson. Eventually gets past her. Tried to get it to Berg in the left corner. Does. Back to Fisher on the left wing. Now Tannen has it on the right wing. Driving right through the free throw line, down into the lane. That left-handed finish is good for Tannen. And this Loyola Chicago team cutting the lead to 5. It's 23-18 with just under 4 minutes to go in this first half. Taya Davis now has the top of the key on the left wing to Taylor Donaldson. Inside to Rose Nelson around the free throw line. Back to Taya Davis on the right wing. Her 3, no good. Rebound brought down by Berg. And now Loyola's going the other way with speed. Hodge Carr driving into the lane, passing it back out. Top of the arc. Berg gets good from 3. And now Loyola Chicago only down 2. They've come all the way back. It's 23-21 Fordham. Taya Davis trying to get this Fordham offense back to where they were at the start of this game. Rose Nelson on the left wing. Back to Taya Davis, top of the key. Taya Davis crossover, giving it to Rose Nelson, top of the key. Inside to Harris. It's good on the post play. Very smart and nice play inside.
I was going to say exactly that. High IQ move from both Rose Nelson and Kayla Harris, recognizing that she has space on the other side of her defender. Kayla Harris making that space for a wide open layup underneath.
Fisher guarded heavily by Taylor Donaldson. Eventually gets past half court. Going to see if she can try and receive some help here at the top of the key. Fisher now moving toward the right corner, guarded by Harris. Inside, Tannen spinning around her defender in the post and scoring, and 1 for Tannen. It's now a 2-point deficit once again for this Loyola Chicago team. 25-23 with 2 minutes and 23 seconds left in this first half.
And with the foul, they have the chance to cut it within 1. Unfortunate defensive possession there, specifically for Taylor Donaldson. Got caught in the spin cycle, ended up behind her defender and just fouled, trying to prevent the open layup, but failed at both. Got the layup in and also fouled.
She completes the three-point play at the line. It's now a 1-point deficit for this Loyola Chicago team, the lowest it's been since the tip-off. Taya Davis now has it right around center court. On the left wing to Amy Hayford. Back top of the key, Taylor Donaldson. Inside to Nyborg around the free throw line. In the left corner to Hayford. Hayford driving inside through the middle of the paint. Taylor Donaldson left wing. Her three is good. Taylor Donaldson with another three. And Julia Moss, that's what she does.
Absolutely, and she shoots a lot. Not necessarily makes a whole lot, but luckily for Fordham, nails it there.
Now Loyola going the other way. Gallinopoulos on the right wing. Guarded heavily by Taylor Donaldson. Berg now has it. Hajkar driving baseline from the right wing. Tried to put up a reverse layup. No good. Taya Davis receives the rebound. Tried to give an outlet pass to Taylor Donaldson. Just too far in front of her, but she hits it off the Satori Tannen, Loyola Chicago player. It'll stay with the Rams. Another high IQ play from this Fordham Ram team.
High IQ play from Taylor Donaldson, but that initial pass from Taya Davis, that's been something they've been working on, his outlet passes, actually making it into the hands of their player. Didn't there, but Taylor Donaldson made it okay.
Amy Hayford going around the entire paint. No good. Amina Lee on the offensive rebound and score. Another offensive rebound and score for Amina Lee. Gallinopoulos moving into the front court. It's now Berg, top of the key. Fisher now has it, driving through the middle of the lane. Stops. Pass on the left wing, Gallinopoulos. Her three. It's good for Gallinopoulos. 30-27 Fordham. This is gearing up to be a good one, Moss. Davis now has it. Moving toward the left wing. Pass top of the key to Hayford. Hayford has it straight on. Lee has it right around the right elbow. Hayford left wing. Pass in the left corner to Taya Davis. Tried to get it inside the Lee. Couldn't. Now Amy Hayford has it straight away. Moving on the left side of the wing. Tried to get up with a right-handed layup. It's blocked by Tannen. And now Loyola Chicago's going the other way. It's Fisher on the right wing. Passing it back out to Berg. Her straightaway three. It's good. She loves that shot. And Allie Berg with her third straightaway three of the game.
Single-handedly keeping Loyola in this game with their three-point shot.
Taya Davis now has it. Top of the key. Straight away. Using a Nyborg screen to her right. And a Lee screen to her right. Trying to get inside. Eventually travel is called on Taya Davis. Going to go right back to Loyola Chicago.
And this is the important part for Fordham, is being able to withstand the momentum Loyola Chicago is mounting here, because it's a tie game and we haven't been able to say that for a lot of this, but last possession here.
Shot right around the free throw line from Gallinopoulos is no good for Loyola Chicago. And the final score after that first half, 30-30. Don't know how we ended up with a tie score after that first half, but nonetheless, we're going to send it to an exclusive interview with Julia and Lou Orlando as they sat down with head coach Brizette Mitchell. Take a listen.
Julia Moss here with Lou Orlando from WFUV Sports, and we are joined with head women's basketball coach Brizette Mitchell. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're good. We're good. My first question. One of the first things you said about a huge draw to Fordham was the fact it was so close to home. You're from Trenton, New Jersey, so not very far away whatsoever. Now that we're this far into the season, what has that experience been like coming to fruition of, you are actually being able to coach so close to home?
Yeah, it's been great. So I've had a lot of family support. They're always at games. We leave kind of the tickets there for them. They're regulars, and getting to know the people in facilities and things like that. So we're making this place home. And so that's been really enjoyable. And then I also like the fact that so many coaches reach out to me about the talent in New Jersey, in Philadelphia, and say, like, you got to keep this kid home. You got to, recruit this kid and so forth. And some obviously don't work out, but then there are ones that were like, she's talented enough to help us. And so I really love that warm embrace that we're getting from being closer to home.
Coming into this season, you knew it was going to be a challenge, a lot of turnover, bringing in so many different people from so many different places. Now we're over halfway through the season. How have you evaluated just the way they've had to adjust to all that, the way they've had to adapt, especially to your system? Like, how have you seen that progress?
We all know that the odds were against us, and even some of the wins that we have weren't supposed to be our wins, right? And I think that I'm most proud of the team's resiliency. Like, they continue to show up. and come into practice and work hard and do the things that's asked of them. So that part I'm really proud of. I'm looking forward to when we make a turn, right? Because we do have talent. I think that, just in terms of system and the timing of things, of getting the players to fill the roster, I think that it's a challenge in terms of how I want to play, right? Like I want to play up tempo, fast paced, but a lot of times this year we've been having to play slow and in the half court. And there's been games where we have executed and there's been games where we haven't, right? And so that comes with a season, but I think that overall, my players as individuals are continuing to demonstrate things about themselves, and that biggest thing that they're noticing is their resiliency.
Absolutely. And at this point of the season that we're recording right now, defense, both individual and team stats, have been off the charts incredible. Was that something day one you wanted to instill, a defensive-minded outlook on basketball this season?
Yeah, definitely. I'm old school with offense sells tickets, the flashiness, but defense wins games, right? And so our ability to lock down opponents and make them uncomfortable and disrupt what they want to do is something that we are doing now and showing great moments, but that's going to be our identity for Fordham women's basketball. Those are the types of players that we're recruiting that can actively pick up the ball full length of the court and be disruptive and go for steals and traps and things like that. And so that's something that we're about and take pride in.
Let's talk about that recruiting a little bit, because one of the things you said off the jump was that this is not a one-off year. There's a long-term plan being built, a really long-term vision, and you've already announced a few of the players in your new recruiting class. We talked about Precious a little bit. Like, how excited are you about this next class, this incoming class, and what can maybe fans expect next year?
Yeah, the 24 class is our first true class of being able to recruit, right? And then the 25 class is kind of that class that we're looking for, big talent, and that are going to bring in the things that we're looking for from an offensive stance, right? And so these two next classes are really big for us. And I think that our 24 class is unique because they lay the foundation. You're going to see they're extremely hardworking. Like, their day off, they want to be in the gym. They're reaching out to coaches and wanting to get better. And Precious is the first one here on campus to exemplify that, right? And so the bar is set with the amount of work that it's going to take, and they're going to follow suit, right? Like, we need leaders that are going to show the way. And so that's why it's really exciting about that 24 class. And they're talented, right, from an athletic standpoint, and they bring what I want to do defensively, right? So in basketball, obviously, there's two sides of the ball. The side of the ball that we take our most pride in is our defensive ability, and then we're looking for players that are skilled, right? I'm not a systems coach, right? There's some teams in the A-10 that have success because they're system-based, and then there's other teams that have success because they're athleticism, and they have players making plays. And so that's more along the lines that we're recruiting for and targeting those prospects, right? Can you create your own shot? Are you a three-level scorer, right? And various things like that. What skills do we need to hone as your coach to really get you to shine? For example, Taylor, right? We had Taylor this year. I put Taylor in situations where she can really thrive and score. We need players that want to shoot those shots and want to hunt those shots. And so that's something that from a system of how we're going to coach and how they're going to play, you can definitely expect from us.
You touched on it a little bit in that very first question, but recruiting-wise, coming from Northeastern, now recruiting in the New York, New Jersey area, how is that? Has there been any differences in, the way you go about that, or the talent that you're seeing coming from Boston and at Northeastern and then now in New York?
Yeah, no, not really. We do regional recruiting, so we're trying to tap into this whole East Coast. And so from a stance of the staff, they each have a region that they're responsible for knowing and having a pulse on those prospects. But I'm going to go where the talent is, right? I'm going to, New York is an awesome city with everything that you could possibly need at your fingertips. We have a beautiful campus that's enclosed, right? So you don't have to worry about any safety issues of being in New York. Your parents know that you're safe. You can choose to stay within the grass, or you can go out into the city, and that's up to you. And so to have the best of those both worlds, we're really attracting prospects that enjoy that. And then on top of it, we're elite academically, right? So we're reaching out to players that want to excel both on and off of the court, and that's something that we're going to continue to do in this area.
Fordham women's basketball has had a really strong relationship with the fans this year. I think you look at every home game, staying behind for the autographs. That's been some really cool moments. A lot of the theme nights, field trip night was a big hit. And talking to Miranda and Amy about it, they really talked about how important it was for them, even though they don't feel like women's basketball fandom's in the best spot right now, to help cultivate and to really help progress it long term. Like, how important is that relationship with the Fordham fans for you, not just for Fordham, but for fandom in women's sports in general?
Yeah, I think that you got to start home first, right? Like, we have this big idea. We want to have the LSU fans or the Iowa fans and so forth, right? We want to have that, but we have to do the work for that. And part of our pillars, that connection piece that we take seriously of the Commit, Care, and Connect, is that once a month we go out and to do community service, community outreach, community engagement, and really interact with them so they have a connection to our program. That's how you're going to get people to come. And we take pride in that. So we do that, like I said, once a month. All of our players are out there being active, myself, my staff, and that's something that we have a unique opportunity to do within these 5 boroughs, right? We start with the Bronx and we're looking to expand. We're doing, oh my goodness, we had the field trip game, as you mentioned, which was so fun. We're doing, for Black History Month, Black-owned businesses in the New York area to come and publicize, their business. And so we're really, really excited about connecting with the community to get them to value and appreciate not only women's basketball, but the work that these women put in daily, right? So this is their chance. When I say they're my players, opportunity to show off, right? You practice really hard, and now let's get some people in here so they can see you perform.
And I think that's one of my favorite parts of broadcasting the home games is the themes that, because, every time you go into that gym, it's going to be something different. So I was wondering, what has been your favorite theme so far, and maybe one you're looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I was, oh my goodness, I can't even think of words to describe how excited I was about the kids' game. That field trip game, they were so pumped. They brought the energy. And oftentimes when you have little kids come to a game, they don't really know who they're cheering for. They kind of like are swayed by winning, right? But those kids, man, they knew they were in Fordham's house and they were doing defense chants. But that's the atmosphere, right? You're in Rose Hill, which is a quaint arena and a lot of rich tradition there. But the acoustics, the sound, when you have a packed house, it's nothing like it.
Well, sometimes at the kids' games, they'll leave at halftime. They stayed the whole time.
The whole game. It was awesome.
You're a coach that had a very strong playing career. I think that's something that when you talk about sports, people value, is a coach that can put themselves in their players' shoes. When you look at your coaching style, how much of it is influenced by your experience and, man, I really wanted this from a coach when I was playing, or this coach did this for me and I loved it or I didn't? How much of those player experience influenced the way you interact with the players and the way you coach just in general?
Yeah, I definitely say 75-25, right? I'm a coach that, I come from a winning culture, winning tradition. I know what it takes to win as a player and as a coach, right? And so I know those things, but I'm also coaching a different athlete, right? A unique athlete that has NIL, that has transfer portal, that has all these opportunities at their fingertips that if they are unhappy, they can leave, right? And so knowing the climate and the environment that we're coaching in, I have to be aware of that. That's why I say 75-25, because I do adapt to the style of play, right? And so that's something too that connects with scouting. Every opponent requires something different. Every player requires a different style of coaching. And so I care for and treat them all equally, but I coach them differently.
I want to switch the vibe just a little bit to maybe some more fun questions, off the court questions. Fordham University, the mascot is absolutely the Ram. There's no doubt about that. But I want to talk about maybe a secondary mascot, maybe specific to this Fordham women's basketball team, and that's your dog, Nala. I just wanted to give you the floor to talk a little bit more about your dog, and you bring it to practices, you bring it to your office sometimes. How has that been so far this season? Because she's just a puppy.
Yeah, she is a pup. Got her in September, and I think that it's big in terms of mental health, right? And having that support, whether it's, I bring her in most of the time on our off days or when we have an early practice and the girls come in and they see her and they play with her, right? And so that smile that she's able to bring to their faces is really fun. I think that I thought that I would never be a dog owner And then I get here, and we're talking about dogs and pets, and everybody's like, yeah, like, you should. And I'm like, I don't know, time and all this stuff. She is the easiest thing ever. So when people say that dogs are like kids, they're lying, okay? They are not. She's easygoing, no cries, no fits.
Or maybe you just got really lucky.
I got lucky. I got a good dog. But yeah, no, it's been a joy to have her, to bring in moments and lighten up the room, and lighten up the space that we're in, because again, she's so joyful.
One of my favorite things from the summer was the Best Ram thing, you going around and checking out different places in the city, trying different foods. Without insulting any of the other businesses that you visited, did you have a favorite from that?
Oh, man, without insulting, I can't. They all were really good. Okay. I'll say that, they were different. Okay. But I have a special place in my heart for
We're back here in the historic Rose Hill Gym here in the Bronx on this gloomy Wednesday night. We're here for some A-10 in-conference women's basketball action. Fordham tied with Loyola Chicago at the half, 30-30. This Fordham team started out really hot, Julia. May have cooled down a little bit, but overall, pretty impressive performance from Fordham in that first half.
I think the beginning of that first half really carried the perspective of how we're going to view this Fordham team into the second half, as long as Fordham continues to at least perform adequately and not, completely face-plant in the third quarter. And I say that because Loyola Chicago is particularly great in the third quarter. We spoke with the Fordham women's basketball SID at halftime, and he gave us a great nugget that Loyola Chicago's best quarter is the third. That's been the difference maker for them. He said. Exactly. So that's been the difference maker for them. And Fordham, particularly great in the fourth quarter, particularly bad in the second quarter. So the third quarter is kind of that happy medium of you never really know what they're going to do. So this third quarter is going to be super, super telling as far as the way the rest of this game is going to go.
And Loyola Chicago on the other side really struggled offensively for most of that first half, including a bunch of turnovers, which we talked about almost ad nauseum in that first half. But the thing really keeping them in the game, at least from my perspective, has been Allie Berg and her straightaway threes. She's hit 3 or 4 of them already. She has been a difference maker in this one so far.
4 for 6 overall, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. But Loyola Chicago's game so far here and what's kept them this work so close is a three-point shooting. Fordham has done an excellent job defending this team in every single aspect except three-point shooting, because Loyola Chicago started out really rough but ended up 5 for 10 from beyond the arc, and that's their bread and butter. They're the 4th best three-point shooting team in the Atlantic 10, and the Atlantic 10 has 15 teams, so that is pretty high up there. So if you're looking at something Fordham should be emphasized on going into the second half, 100% has to be defending beyond the perimeter. If they can lock that up and continue to force turnovers, that will be very much to the advantage of the Rams.
And Julia, in that first quarter, we were almost blushing with how much we were enjoying the Fordham offense. What particular components of that do you think they could stretch for the rest of the game here and really help them win down the stretch?
Saying that we were blushing is putting it lightly. We were beside ourselves to begin this game, and that's because of the off-ball movement. We saw so much I don't want to say movement over and over and over again, but that is literally what has been happening. They're moving with a purpose, and that is, I think, the biggest thing that is different. If they could continue the off-ball screens, just the movement, it's been incredible so far. So just continuing to confuse Loyola's defense, because they came out flustered on the defensive end. If they can go back to those plays, that would be great. And something Loyola, just to add to the fact, our amazing on-site producer Will Talent gave us a little nugget about just how good Loyola Chicago is from beyond the arc. This is already their 4th straight game shooting above 40% from beyond the arc in the first half. So that doesn't tell you what they need to defend. I don't know what will.
It's been a close one so far. Definitely a weird half, to say the least. Both teams kind of dominant from certain components, certain times in the game. Sam Gallinopoulos, a player that really is an engine for this offense for the Ramblers, kind of been quiet so far.
2 for 4, only has 4 shots up. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, you can look at her points. She only has 5 points total, but what really speaks to me is the lack of shots, because she's not finding those open shots. Fordham knew that is kind of the engine, as you said, for this Loyola Chicago team. If they can shut her down, that might not shut down the entire offense itself, but it definitely makes a dent.
We'll see if SID, our beloved SID, Ethan, is correct here as the third quarter gets started. Berg has it. Straight away. Fisher driving right through the lane from the left wing. No good on her layup. And Fordham will be going the other way offensively. A nice play getting back by Fisher. Stealing, blocking the pass out of bounds, trying to get it to McGurk with an outlet pass, but it'll stay with Fordham.
Just a lazy pass from Amina Lee off the rebound. Kind of floated it up there, left it for Loyola Chicago to tip, but luckily went out of bounds for Fordham.
Rose Nelson crossing the free throw line. Passing it inside to Amina Lee. She'll take the layup and it'll go. Impressive play from the larger interior players for this Fordham team, showing their dominance inside. Berg has it straight away. Now backing down McGurk. Tried to get it to Berg, top of the key, stolen by Lee. And now Lee passes it to Hayford. Hayford's moving in transition. She'll pump fake, tried to take a layup, no good. It'll be a foul, I believe, going the other way. The foul will be on number 10, Rose Nelson, and it'll be Ramblers' ball.
Amy Hayford frustrated with herself after that offensive possession. Came in with a head full of steam, wasn't able to corral the ball quick enough to get off a good layup because she had the space to do it, but just sloppy dribbling down the stretch.
Haj Carr now has it on the right wing, passing it in the post to Tatum. Passing it, trying to get it inside. No good on the layup, right under the basket on Lee. And now an outlet pass to Hayford. She's moving in transition. She doesn't have numbers, but she continues. The left corner three from Taylor Donaldson, no good. And a rebound brought in by Tannen. Amita Lee guarding her on the baseline. Gonna see what they call here. They're gonna call it, keeping it the same way. Amina Lee, great play to get her team the ball back. Another turnover for this Loyola Chicago team. It's now gonna be Fordham taking it out. See if they run something here under the basket. Get it to McGurk on the right corner. Now Donaldson has it right at the top of the arc. Now to McGurk on the right wing. Now Hayford on the right wing. Taylor Donaldson, top of the key. Rose Nelson on the left wing, driving inside, using dribble moves. McGurk passed it back out. She'll take a 10-foot jumper. It's good from the left shoulder. Mandy McGurk gets on the board. Pass in the right corner to Berg. Berg tries to go up for the contested layup on Hayford. No good, but a foul is called, and she'll be going to the line for two.
It's going to be Amy Hayford's second foul in what's been a pretty clean game from both teams so far. Fordham only up to 5 personal fouls. Loyola Chicago stuck at 1, which is really incredible and a testament to the defense they've been playing so far.
It's going to be Allie Berg at the free throw line as she makes the first. 11 points here so far tonight. Talked about her at halftime, one of the difference makers so far tonight. Second one's good as well. 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 75% on the year as Fordham's going the other way offensively. Nyborg inside in the post, backing down. Tannen tried to get it past her, didn't get it to her, but Donaldson has it now in the left corner, passing it inside to Nyborg. Taya Davis will have it on the top of the key. She'll reset. Now Amy Hayford has it on the right wing. Amy Hayford around a Nyborg screen, going through the left lane, left-handed layup, no good. Rebound brought down by Fisher. Loyola going the other way with speed. A 3-on-3. Fisher taking a 10-foot jumper, no good. Nyborg eventually gathers it on the defensive glass. 34-32 Fordham with 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Taya Davis has it on the right wing, around a Nyborg screen. Offensive foul called on the screen. It's going to be on Miranda Nyborg, and we're going to go the other way. It's going to be Ramblers' ball.
That couldn't have been closer in front of us, and I'm still confused.
Yeah.
What about that screen was illegal? She set her feet, called the screen happening, and ref called it immediately, but I'm still confused what the actual foul was.
Ooh. Gallinopoulos from the right corner. It's good on the right wing, rather. Her three is good. It's 35-34 Loyola Chicago with their first lead of the game with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's 35-34 Loyola. Taya Davis now has it on the right wing. Looking for the Nyborg screen. Eventually gets it now at the top of the arc. Taylor Donaldson has it on the left wing. Around the Rose Nelson screen. Tried to pass it inside to Nyborg. And another offense, or a travel is called, my mistake. It'll go toward the Ramblers once again.
Kind of undisciplined basketball we're seeing from Fordham, which is not very much like them. They're not a team that travels very often outside of Amy Hayford, but seeing it distributed pretty evenly today. Some undisciplined basketball that they're going to want to clean up here.
Fisher. Now Gallinopoulos bringing it up. A press from Taya Davis. She eventually gets past it into the front court. Now has it on the left wing. Now driving inside around the free throw line. Passing it back outside to Hajkar. Hajkar tries to go baseline. Doesn't. Instead, pass it into Tannen on the right elbow. Tries to drive inside with the layup. No good. And now the steal is made after the defensive rebound. Gallinopoulos taking a 10-footer. Wide open. No good. Taya Davis brings down the rebound. And now there's players on the floor. It's a scrum on the ground. And a steal is made by the Ramblers. Eventually, it's Gallinopoulos getting the ball, and a timeout is called by Allison Guth on that Loyola Chicago sideline. Loyola Chicago ends up with the ball there.
I'm beside myself at the fact that Loyola Chicago ended up with that timeout. Why didn't Fordham call a timeout in the 10 seconds that led up to that? They had the ball, they had possession, clearly no one to pass it to. You think a timeout would be the perfect chance for that in that scenario. Lets it play out, and Coach Bridgette Mitchell is irate on the sideline. I don't know if it's because she's unhappy with the play or maybe she was trying to call a timeout, but definitely confusing that she let that play out without getting a timeout called.
35-34 with 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. Loyola Chicago leading. They haven't led at all in this game, just got this lead recently. This Fordham offense doesn't look like the Fordham offense we saw in that first quarter.
You know, we talk about so much how long it takes for their plays to develop. They've moved away from that to begin the game, but now we're seeing them fall into that trap once again of not getting shots off until 8, 7, even under 5 seconds left, and it's not because they're not trying. It's because they're still trying to run an offensive play or just get something set up. So, you know, you got to tap into what you came out the gate with, because this team, and specifically Berg on Loyola, is not slowing down, and this is Berg's 5th double-digit point game this season and 4th with 10-plus points and 4-plus rebounds. So she's gotten it done on both sides of the court today, just like she's done all season. So that is going to need to be something Fordham really hones in on and tries to clean up, especially as we're getting into the third quarter. It's getting to crunch time now. Yeah, and the Ramblers, Sam Gallinopoulos, we talked about maybe how she underwhelmed in that first half. Still isn't shooting the ball great. Has missed 2 or 3 shots already in this third quarter, but you could just see her presence out there as a floor general, and this Loyola Chicago offense seems almost night and day from the first half. Absolutely, and where Gallinopoulos has maybe been a little invisible on scoring, she's made up in other categories. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Those are big aspects of the game, especially this early in the third quarter. So Fordham needs another player kind of like that, if you will, to be able to do it all, not just Taylor Donaldson, who can just score. Tilly Flood, who's just been rebounding recently. She hasn't been shooting the ball very much. You need a player out there who can get all three of the aspects of the game on the offensive and defensive end. Miranda Nyborg, the 10th Fordham player to check in this game so far. It's been a diverse group, not only scoring the ball, but on the defensive end as well. Is there any problems with this Fordham defense that you see maybe this Loyola team exposing a little bit? 3-point perimeter defense, absolutely. And to Loyola's credit, they've done it really well all season, but Fordham, a notoriously poor 3-point shooting team. If one team is making 3s and you're making 2s, that's going to add up, and it seems to be right now. It's a 1-point game, and Fordham not helping themselves very much. They've been scoreless in the past 2 minutes, 1 for 5 of the last 5, and for the game they're 2 for 8 from behind the arc. So you're going to need to either abandon the 3 entirely and just focus on interior post scoring, or shoot your way out of the funk. You've got to decide one or the other, because playing the middle, if you will, that way is just going to lead to more points left on the board. From a mental standpoint, Moss, this Fordham team has not seen a ton of success in the A-10. They come out so strong, and now they fall behind once again. They really just can't let this get in their heads. Absolutely not. I mean, the perspective can be 2 things: glass half full, glass half empty. You're down by 1, or you're within a point of being in the lead. So if you're Fordham, you definitely want to have that glass half full perspective in this game. Alyssa Fisher taking it out under the basket. Little 4 corners play here from Loyola Chicago off the inbound. It's going to be Gallup. She took me completely off guard there. Gallinopoulos going baseline there with a fantastic move. I think she heard us during the timeout. It's now Taya Davis at the top of the key.
Passing to Nyborg on the left shoulder. Taylor Donaldson on the left wing going around to Nyborg's screen. Now Taylor Donaldson has it top of the key. Amy Hayford on the right wing. She has it. Her three is good. The outstretched arm of Allie Berg, not enough, and Amy Hayford gets to go.
What a scene there, too. Shot the ball, bounced on her right foot because she was off balance and just kept her hand up while it sunk in the net. Really cool scene from Amy Hayford there.
Fisher around the right elbow, passing it back out. I've had a bit of a stigma now because I messed up her name once. I'm going to continue doing it, but Gallinopoulos nonetheless. Fisher with the top of the key three. It's good. This Loyola team is shooting out of the gym right now in this third quarter, and that brings their lead to 3. It's now 40-37 with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
It is now officially half of their field goal attempts, or field goal made rather, that have come beyond the arc. 7 for 14.
Taya Davis standing at the middle of the Block F logo, looking at the rest of her offense. Pass to Harris on the right shoulder, in the left corner to Amy Hayford. Her three, no good, swirling around the entire rim. Now Loyola Chicago is pushing the other way. Fisher all the way down the court, a great outlet pass by Gallinopoulos. And now Loyola Chicago, another score, 42-37 Loyola. Taya Davis now has it at the top of the arc. Nyborg now has it, looking to facilitate. She does. Taya Davis, right wing, crossover, trying to get to the lane. Euro step and finish with the layup. Coach Allison Guth wants to travel, doesn't get it, and now Loyola's going the other way on the offensive end. No good on the 10-footer from Allie Berg, and Taylor Donaldson brings down the defensive rebound. 42-39 Loyola with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Taya Davis, top of the key. Not in any sort of rush here, guarded by Gallinopoulos. Nyborg, now Taylor Donaldson, left wing, passing it into Harris, into the left post. Harris backing down. Her defender, the right-handed hook is good for Kayla Harris. Another great play offensively from her.
And Loyola Chicago's head coach on the sideline still irate. Every single time Fordham touches the ball, she's calling for a travel, but I think Fordham's just making use of their extra step.
Inside, nice pass on the cutting Berg. Berg hits it off the bottom of the rim on the layup, no good. And now Taya Davis has it going the other way. Donaldson in the right corner, pass to Nyborg on the right wing. Now Amy Hayford has it straight away. She goes through the left lane, pushes off Gallinopoulos, seemingly falls back 10 feet the other way, and it'll be an offensive foul. It'll go back to the Ramblers.
And Amy Hayford did herself no favors there by entirely extending her arm to get the offensive foul.
Got a timeout here, so we're going to take a little break. It's 42-41 Loyola Chicago with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the third quarter. We'll be right back with Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
We're back here in the Rose Hill Gym. Loyola Chicago out with a 42-41 lead. Just over 3 minutes left to go in this third quarter. We talked about the limited scoring from Sam Gallinopoulos and how she was doing it in other ways, but the scoring column maybe wasn't there. I think she may have heard us and maybe taken some offense to that as well.
Well, I think the score column I want to talk about is Fordham's, because don't look at the stats. I'm going to ask you a question.
Eyes are closed.
Taylor Donaldson has the most amount of points in this game so far. Who do you think has the second most amount? They have 8 points.
Good question. Well, I know Berg has 12, so...
I'm talking about Fordham.
Oh, Fordham. Amina Lee.
Kayla Harris.
Wow.
Tied a season high already, and we're in the third quarter with 8 points. And I think what's so interesting about her game in particular is she's such a traditional post player. I mean, she wears an oversized jersey untucked. This is very 90s, and the way she plays matches it. She's very much, you're not going to see her really anywhere but trying to post up on the block. And in today's game, that is something you don't see all too often, and it's so fun to watch her in the post because she's so just physical under the basket.
Dare I say, Moss, that the Seton Hall transfer has a little Big East basketball in her, possibly?
It could be. She didn't get very many minutes at Seton Hall, and she's proving now why she should have.
Yeah, Kayla Harris only averaging 3 points on the season, 53% from the field. Her percentages are good, but she's definitely having a bit of a breakout game here tonight.
And that's something common we see with Fordham post players. They average low amounts of points, but that's because they don't take very many shots. Outside of Amy Hayford and Taylor Donaldson, these post players don't get as much love as they should.
Absolutely. As eventually the press is broken here from Loyola Chicago. Gallinopoulos bringing it up across the block F. Guarded by Taya Davis heavily. Dribble handoff to Fisher. Fisher now top of the key. Pass to Berg on the right wing. Pass in the corner to Hodge Carr. Back top of the key to Fisher. Fisher back to Berg. Her right wing three. No good off front rim. And Taya Davis gets the offensive rebound. Taya Davis top of the key. Guarded by Gallinopoulos.
Let's go, effort!
Pass to Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. Trying to get it inside to Rose Nelson in the post. She does. Mina Lee now has it on the right shoulder. Pass to Taylor Donaldson. She'll take a jumper from the same spot. No good. And a bit of wrestling going on under the basket. It'll stay with Fordham. The jump ball arrow going toward the right.
I just want to take a minute to commend Taylor Donaldson's confidence there. Took a shot on 10, and there was about 7 inches.
Yeah.
Maybe not that much, but it looks like it on the court.
Taya Davis has it top of the key. Around the free throw line, now the left elbow. She's backing down her defender. Taylor Donaldson, top of the key. Now Flood, right wing. Rose Nelson, right corner. Driving through the middle of the lane. Tried to use a Euro step to get to the right side of the rim. Couldn't get there. And a bit of a scrum for the rebound. It'll stay with Fordham.
Matilda Flood once again extending a possession off a shot. Doesn't get the rebound there, but extends the play to where Loyola Chicago
as
backs
good as
it
a
out of
rebound.
bounds. Exactly.
Maybe even better.
Could be.
Taya Davis taking it out right under the basket. Taylor Donaldson, her left wing three is good. Taylor Donaldson with the three, and the Fordham Rams back out in front 44-42 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Now Gallinopoulos, top of the key, around a Berg screen. Berg now has it top of the key. Gallinopoulos has it. Her left wing three is good. Nothing but nylon. And once again, Loyola Chicago takes the lead back. It's 45-44. Taylor Donaldson gets it, breaking the press at half court. Amina Lee gets it on the left block. Nice pass to Rose Nelson on the opposite block. Eventually, pass back out to Taya Davis straight away. On the block F. Right to Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. Around the Amina Lee screen. Matilda Flood has it on the left wing, going through the middle of the lane. Her left-handed layup, no good. It's going to stay with the Rams. Actually, a shot clock violation was called. Shot did not hit the rim, and they'll go back toward the Ramblers.
Ugly offensive possession for Fordham. I think there's no better way to say that. They're getting the opportunities, but outside of that Taylor Donaldson three, they haven't really been cashing in on them.
It's going to be Berg taking it out on the opposite basket. Another press here from Fordham. Taylor Donaldson and Taya Davis playing way up.
There you go. Get that ball.
It's gathered by Nolan around the center logo. Now Gallinopoulos eventually gathers it, top of the key. Around a Berg screen, picked up by Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. It's now Fisher has it, straight away behind the arc. She now drifts over to the right lane. Tough defense from Taya Davis. A travel is called as she jump stops around 10 feet from the rim. Coach Guth is irate.
And for good reason, too. I mean, she's been trying all game to get the refs to call a travel on Fordham, but the only travels that really have been called are against Loyola Chicago. She was like down on her knees at the ref just trying to get a call in their favor.
Taya Davis guarded by Alyssa Fisher. Now into Taylor Donaldson around the left shoulder. She'll bump her and take the floater. It's good and one for Taylor Donaldson. And once again, Fordham has the lead again. This lead's going back and forth constantly. It's down 46-45 Fordham with just 35 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Taylor Donaldson earning a well-earned chest bump from most of her teammates after that. Just a physical shot, physical possession there for Taylor Donaldson, and makes Loyola Chicago pay for it.
She makes the free throw, completing the three-point play and giving her 18th point of the night. Nolan now has it pass inside on the right wing to Fisher. Fisher back outside to Gallinopoulos, straight away behind the arc, and she'll pull it back, let the rest of her offense reset. Guarded by Taylor Donaldson, deep on the right wing. Going around a Nolan screen right around the middle of the court. Nolan now has it on the right wing. Her three, no good. Rebound by Taya Davis. Now Taylor Donaldson receives an outlet pass. Pass to Amina Lee inside and good. Fantastic transition play from the Fordham Rams. And that's how the third quarter will end. It's 49-45 Rams going into the fourth quarter.
And Taylor Donaldson got absolutely bodied on that pass into Amina Lee. Took all of the pressure, knew she was going to get hit. We talk about in football a lot how it's so impressive when wide receivers catch the ball when they know contact is coming. The exact same situation there for Taylor Donaldson. Saw the defender coming at her full force, still gets the pass off, absorbs the contact herself. Surprised a foul wasn't called, but nonetheless, Amina Lee wide open under the basket, nails the layup, and Fordham back up by 4.
Fordham going into the fourth quarter, 49-45 lead. We'll be right back with Fordham women's basketball with WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
We're back here with Fordham women's basketball, 49-45 going into the fourth quarter. Fordham with a really strong end to that third quarter.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. That last possession really kind of summed up the past 2 or 3 minutes. Fordham has had finished off a 5-0 run pretty nicely in these past 2 minutes. They're 3 of their last 4, and for Loyola Chicago, it's the exact opposite story. They haven't scored in 2 minutes, and they're 1 for their last 5. But nonetheless, Loyola Chicago put themselves in a good position coming into the half-tie game. So momentum swinging in Fordham's direction right now is not an end note to the game. They have a whole quarter to bring it back, and they know exactly what Fordham is not very good at, and that's defending the 3. I expect Loyola Chicago to fully rely on the 3 coming out of this break and try and get this lead shrunk back in Loyola's favor.
Yeah, I would just love to talk for a second about Loyola Chicago head coach Allison Guth. Allison Guth, it's her second season with the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. She spent 7 seasons prior to this at Yale, 5 straight winning seasons in the Ivy League. She was going absolutely crazy on a travel call called on Loyola Chicago. She's been complaining about it on the other end the whole game.
And we talked about it off there. We can joke on air all we want, but to be fair, she has a reason to be upset. Fordham is taking extra steps on the other end, and the referees are just not seeing it. So, she's more angry on the sideline than I think I've seen a coach this entire season, and can't really blame her.
Can't blame them. It'll be Berg taking it out right in front of us here. It's going to be Shivers, guarded by Taya Davis on the left wing, now moving toward the right wing. Berg has it, top of the key. It's now Nolan around the left elbow, pass inside to Chivers, and it's good. Chivers with a little nifty move there, cuts the lead to 2. It's 49-47.
The 5'5" Chivers gets lost under the basket. Don't see that happen too often, someone like that getting a layup.
It's now Taylor Donaldson straight away. Taya Davis passing out on the right wing to Flood. Flood taking the right wing three. No good off back iron. Amina Lee tried to get the offensive rebound. It's going to go off of Emma Nolan, and it'll stay with the Rams.
And this continues what's been a disastrous shooting stretch for Matilda Flood. 0 points in her last 3 games in those 41 minutes played. The last time she scored was against St. Bonaventure, where she had 10 points on 50% shooting. So just really tough for her in the recent stretch.
Davis gets it to Donaldson in the right corner. She'll try to drive inside, but a foul is called. An elbow is called. And once again, Allison Guth not happy with calls against her team.
And to no surprise, guess what she wants? A travel call.
Yeah.
That means she doesn't believe you.
Davis once again under the basket.
Let's go, third chance. Get it in.
Eventually got it to Donaldson in the left corner. She takes a three. No good off the front iron. And now Berg going the other way. It's Chivers. Chivers across into the front court. Berg has it top of the key, guarded by Nelson. Now on the right wing, pass in the corner to Nolan. Nolan passing it to her twin sister in the post, across to Chivers on the other side. Pump fake and drive inside and finish for Chivers. She has been dynamite on the offensive end so far, or in the last recent couple of possessions. Davis now has it going into the front court. Amy Hayford had it on the left wing, now bringing it all the way to the right wing to her companion Taylor Donaldson. Davis now had it on the left wing, driving inside into the right lane. No good on the shot, but fouled on the way up. And Davis will be going to the line for 2.
Taya Davis putting herself in an ideal position under the basket with 2 defenders around her. New contact was coming. Able to absorb it, still get the shot up, and the shot, or rather the foul occurred as the shot was happening. So she gets 2 free throws. It seemed like that might have been an on the court, but gets the shot up at the last second.
Davis, good on the first free throw, her first free throw of the night. 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists for Taya Davis. Second one, no good off back iron, but a rebound by Amy Hayford on the offensive glass. Passing it back out, Taya Davis. Taylor Donaldson on the left wing. Pump fakes, drives inside. Nice, tried to make a nice pass to Rose Nelson inside. Rose Nelson is fouled, and it'll be on the ground. It'll be an inbound for the Fordham Rams. Fordham still leading 50-49 with 8.5 to go in the game.
Amy Hayford might get credited with that rebound, but none of that happens without Kayla Harris going up to try and tip it. Seemed like a Loyola Chicago defender actually got their hand on it, but Kayla Harris made that happen.
Rose Nelson around the left elbow, dribble handoff to Hayford around the free throw line. She'll take it on the left wing behind the arc. Around the Rose Nelson screen in the middle to Taya Davis on the right wing. She goes around a Harris screen through the middle of the lane, passing to Harris inside. She finishes with a layup. 52-49 Rams. It's now a 3-point lead. Chivers coming fast the other way. Fisher has it behind the arc, top of the key. It's now a pass inside to Nolan. Berg tried to sneak it inside, couldn't, and now it's Taya Davis 2-on-1 with Taylor Donaldson. Neither of them get to finish. Amy Hayford now has it on the right wing. Her three is good. Amy Hayford with another three. Coach Allison Guth needs some time to talk it over. It's 55-49 Fordham with 7:47 left to go in the fourth quarter.
What a stretch for Fordham there. And Coach Guth went right to Emma Nolan after that, coaching her up on the court. Apparently she believes that maybe that last possession happened as a result of her defending, but oh my goodness, Fordham in the driver's seat to win a game in what feels like forever.
It seems like the defense is really what sparks the offense. It doesn't seem like they're doing anything really different on the offensive end. It just seems like they're really just taking not giving this Loyola Chicago team an inch on the defensive end, and it's just been staggering defense this whole fourth quarter so far.
And that's been their goal from the beginning, is to make defense turn into offense. The offensive aspect of it just has taken a little bit to come along. But if this is something that can be attainable and sustainable, more importantly, something we see in games to come, and more importantly in the next 8 minutes of this game, you can't be happier about this team. in for Harris. This is a collegiate career high for her. The first time she's ever reached double digits in a game. She's at 10 points right now, and when you're looking at 55-49, those 10 points have been absolutely crucial. She's been just killer under the basket, able to take the aggressive Loyola defenders, the contact, and use it against them for layups. It's been incredible.
And Amy Hayford makes that right wing three before the break. That's the second big three she's hit in this game so far. She's really been there when they've needed her most.
7 for 16 from the field. That's some of her best shooting we've seen all season. Aside from that, maybe that St. Peter's game where she had 35. But Taylor Donaldson is a player that is going to score a lot of points. But the way she gets there sometimes puts her team at a detriment because she shoots a lot and misses a lot. But tonight, 7 for 16, one of her most efficient shooting nights. So she's not taking shots away from other people, but she's making them and also allowing players like Amy Hayford and Kayla Harris and even Taya Davis to shine on their own.
If you could cast your mind for a second, put yourself in Coach Allison Guth's mind, that sharp blue suit is definitely one of the pluses of that. But what would you be telling your team right now in the huddle, trying to get them back in this game?
Play your game. They've kind of strayed away from that three-point run they went on. They were nails from beyond the arc at the beginning of this half. Get back to that because that's what's been working. Fordham has shown that that's maybe something they struggle to defend a little bit, but I think that's really the big thing. They're 3 of their last 4, so offense hasn't really been that big of an issue. It's just the defense on the other end, making sure that Fordham's not getting wide open layups that we've seen a few times, and also converting, of course, continuously on the offensive end.
I just want to, in a broad sense for a second, Julia, what kind of confidence would this Fordham team receive from a win like this?
All of it. As much, whatever the meter is, over that. Breaks the meter. This is a team that is desperate for a win. We talk so much about how they have moral victories within. They're doing this well. They're doing this well. Well, guess what? They're not winning games. So a win, a W in the A-10, oh my goodness. It'll be really nice for Fordham if they can get an actual win and not a moral win.
Berg's going to be taking it out on the opposite side. Taya Davis is going to have a bit of a press on Shivers here. Shivers looking behind her, maybe to see if anyone's behind her for some help. Shivers is going to get it. And seems like Taya Davis will play off of her as Shivers passes half court. Pass to Berg, top of the key. Pass on the left wing to Fisher. Back top of the key to Berg. In the left corner to Shivers. Back down inside. Tannen backing down. Harris tried to get a shot up. No good. Physical defense there from Harris. And Taya Davis is going to have it once again. Davis behind the arc. Straight away. Going around a Kayla Harris screen to the right, in the right lane. Ball's around, tipped around a bunch, and now there's another scrum on the ground once again. Eventually, it's going to be Gallinopoulos with the ball. Not sure what they called here. Just going to go the other way, no foul.
Just some chaotic play under the basket there.
I think they just called possession. Shivers. Deep on the right wing to Berg, top of the key. On the left wing to Tannen. Tannen up top for Berg. Her straightaway three is good. Another straightaway three for Allie Berg. She's turning that one into her signature shot.
A glorified practice shot, if you will. She was so wide open at the top of the key right there. Unbelievable there wasn't a Fordham defender around.
Taya Davis drifting over to the right wing. Getting Taylor Donaldson in the right corner. Dumping it into Harris in the post. Harris, nice dump pass into a driving Davis. Back out to Rose Nelson. She drives inside through the middle of the lane. No good on the layup. Berg eventually secures the rebound. And now Tannen has it in transition in the left corner. It's Fisher driving through the lane. Eventually at the right block and finishes with the layup. Impressive stuff from Alyssa Fisher. And then once again, 55-44. This game just seemingly cannot be any closer. Amy Hayford driving through the entire lane, went off her foot, and eventually in the face of Alyssa Fisher, Taylor Donaldson picks it up, drives through the lane, takes a flying layup around the left block, and it's going to be a foul on the ground off the ball. That one, I believe, is going to go on Satori Tannen. And once again, it'll be Fordham ball.
And And as Kayla Harris exits the court, I'm telling you, if there's a Kayla Harris fan club, I may very well be the president of it. She has been nails all game today, able to secure the offensive rebound with about 3 defenders around her. Gets fouled, Fordham possession.
It's going to be Amy Hayford. Parallel with the left block under the basket, taking it out. Rose Nelson has it on the left elbow. Dribble handoff to Amy Hayford. She now has it on the left wing, behind the arc. Around a Lee screen, going through the middle of the lane, around the free throw line. Back out to Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. She drives inside, takes the heavily contested layup, no good. Rebound eventually brought down by Berg. She hits Fisher in transition, and they're going to pull up to start the offense. Deep on the right wing, it's Fisher. Looking for some movement off the ball. Berg has it top of the key. Shivers has it on the right wing behind the arc. Finds Tannen straight away behind the arc. Tannen driving inside on Lee. A foul is called on the floor. And once again, it will be a Loyola Chicago ball.
And if you're wondering how good Berg has been throughout this game, season high, 16 points tonight. She has been incredible for Loyola Chicago, and what's been a quiet night for a lot of the other names we're typically saying quite a bit in other Loyola Chicago games.
Shivers tries to get it inside. It's tipped by Taylor Donaldson, trying to get it to Gallinopoulos. Once again, Loyola Chicago will be taking it out from the same place. Actually, no, not from the same place. Right in front of their own bench.
Just a little further away.
Just a little. Pass in the post to Gallinopoulos. She'll eventually go back to the behind the arc, facing up against Taylor Donaldson, going baseline, using her back, getting inside in the post, makes the shot and one. Sam Gallinopoulos, 55-56, another Loyola Chicago lead once again. Just under 5 minutes to go in this game.
And she is heating up at 15 points now, 6 for 9 shooting. In that first half, it wasn't that she was shooting poorly. That definitely wasn't the case. It was that she wasn't getting shots. Completely different story in this second half. Has found herself in positions on the court that she likes to shoot at, and she has made Fordham pay for it.
Gallinopoulos missing off back iron on the free throw, and the out-of-bounds call is going to stay with Loyola Chicago. The ball batted out near around the Loyola Chicago bench.
And you want to see more hustle from Fordham there. It obviously bounces off of them, and they just kind of watch it go out of bounds. I think if there's a little more hustle, there was absolutely a chance they could retain possession and not give it back to Loyola.
Top of the key to Berg. On the right wing to Shivers. Back top of the key to Berg. Now Fisher has it. Gallinopoulos on the right wing. Her three is good. She seemingly can't miss from the wings from three, and it's now a 4-point lead, 59-55, with 4.5 to go for Loyola Chicago. Mandy McGurk now has the top of the key. Gives it to Taylor Donaldson. She'll dribble handoff to Amy Hayford on the left wing. She now has it. Top of the key, driving inside on the right lane. Puts up a prayer of a layup, and it's good, and the foul. Another and one for Amy Hayford, and she'll go to the line to try and complete the three-point play. It's now 59-57 Loyola Chicago.
That was a layup that makes me question physics. It hit off what seemed to be under the basket, but bounces up off the back of the board and in, and she absorbed the contact to get the foul. What a possession there for Amy Hayford and the Fordham Rams.
Amy Hayford completes her three-point play. It's now 59-58, one-point game. Loyola Chicago out in front, 4:20 to go in the game. It's now Tannen with Harris. Top of the key to Fisher. Fisher standing on the horns of the Ram at the top of the key. It's now Tannen on the left wing. Back top of the key to Fisher. Pump fakes, drives inside on Flood. Tries to take the layup inside. A foul is called. No good on the shot, but she'll go to the line for two.
Loyola Chicago gets lucky there. It seemed like Shivers just tripped on the way there, but referee saw contact somewhere, but from my vantage point, it seemed like she got a little too much steam on the layup, tripped, and got bailed out with a foul. Gets 2 free throws now with Loyola Chicago up by a point.
Yeah, Fisher at the line now for two. 59-58 Loyola with just over 4 minutes to go. Fisher misses the first of two. She's 2 for 2 so far tonight. 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. She's had a hell of a night. Second one is good for her, bringing that lead back out to 2. It's 60-58 Loyola Chicago with 4 minutes to go in the game. Taya Davis has it all the way at half court. Back on the left elbow to Taylor Donaldson. She'll back her defender. Fade away. Left-handed shot. No good, but a foul called on the ground. Once again, I think it's going to be Harris is the one that's fouled.
Gets another board.
And she'll go to the line because Fordham's in the bonus.
This time gets rewarded with 2 free throws and with the chance to continue what's been the best scoring night of her entire collegiate career.
Harris going to the line for 2, 10 points and 5 rebounds tonight. It's good on the first, now 11 points. Her first time in her college career, Seton Hall and Fordham, that she's had double digits in the points column. See if she can make it 12 here. She does. 60-60, tie game with just under 4 to go. It's as tight as it gets, Julia Moss. Both teams playing very well down the stretch here. Top of the key to Chivers. She has it straight away behind the arc. Down on the left wing. Tannen has it. Back to Shivers in the left corner. Trying to get it in the post to Tannen. She does. Working on Harris. Nice move going right to left and scores with the left-handed finish. Taya Davis now bringing it up. Chivers giving her no breathing room. Getting into the front court. The timeout is going to be called by Coach Brissette Mitchell. 62-60, Loyola Chicago with a 2-point lead with 3 minutes left to go in this game.
And these are the kind of minutes that Fordham is not too accustomed with just because of the results of the games recently, and that's clutch minutes where the game is won and lost in the next 3 minutes. These are valuable crunch time moments for Fordham that's going to, win or lose, this is going to build them as a team moving forward. So I think that's, first of all, important. And then the next thing I want to touch on is that post position, that starting spot in the post has changed over and over and over again between Amina Lee, Rose Nelson, Kayla Harris, some combo at North Miranda Nyborg. A performance like this from Kayla Harris, that's got to be on the mind of Coach Brissette Mitchell moving forward.
100%. Both these teams seemingly can't pull away from each other. Eventually one of them will. Taylor Donaldson taking it out right in front of us. Deep on the right wing. Hits Davis, top of the key. Drifts over to the left wing. Now Taylor Donaldson has it straight away to Flood on the right wing behind the arc. And a 3-second call is called on Fordham on the offensive end, and it'll go back to Loyola Chicago.
I'm beaming about Kayla Harris over here, and then she does me dirty there. 3-second call to give possession back in clutch minutes with Loyola Chicago already up.
Amy Hayford intimidating with the press. Eventually gets called for the foul on Alyssa Fisher.
And that's Amy Hayford's 4th foul of the game. That's kind of why she's jumping up and down and just in awe about the fact that foul was called. Seemed to be clean defense there.
What else can you do there?
Exactly, as she's asking for an explanation now from the referee on the sideline. Doesn't seem to be buying what the ref is telling with their hands on her hips, but not going to change the call itself.
Fisher going to the line for 2. Both teams in the bonus now. That one's good, bringing the Loyola Chicago lead back out to 3. It's 63-60 Loyola Chicago. Just under 3 minutes to go. Second one's good as well, 64-60 Loyola Chicago. 2:52 to go in this 4th quarter. Taya Davis, top of the key. Amy Hayford not subbing out, staying in and spin moving and gets called for the offensive foul. That was the last thing that you wanted there from Amy Hayford, and now she's fouled out of this game.
Just a gut punch for Fordham.
I couldn't have said that quicker.
There's no better way to put that. Oh my goodness. And Coach Brissette Mitchell is on the sideline. She looks confused, but she's already moving on. She's talking to the players who are going to go back on the court, which at the moment, Amy Hayford's still in that huddle. Maybe they're reviewing the call? I'm not totally sure what's happening here.
I think Coach Brissette Mitchell is going to see if she can try and trick them. No, it seems like Rose Nelson's going to check in for her, and Mandy McGurk as well.
And luckily for Fordham, this is a very deep team. Everyone plays on this bench. The only player that doesn't get consistent minutes is freshman Cassidy Mahaney. Every other player is expecting to get their name called. So when something like this happens, Fordham well adjusted and prepared for.
Yeah, 10 Fordham players playing major minutes here tonight on this Wednesday night in the Bronx. Gallinopoulos trying to get across half court. She does with a long high pass to Shivers. Gallinopoulos now has it right wing. Burke has it top of the key. Now Tannen has it left wing. Pass into the cutting Gallinopoulos, blocked by Matilda Flood, sending it behind the basket. It will stay with the Loyola Chicago. Berg will be taking it out under the basket, parallel with the left block. Gallinopoulos gets it in the left corner. Foul is called on the floor in the post off the ball against Taylor Donaldson. That will be her third foul of the game. And Berg will be going to the line for 2.
Berg up to 16 points, as I mentioned before. 2 for 2 perfect so far from the free throw line. We'll hope to make it 4 for 4 here and further push this Loyola Chicago lead even further as time is continuing to wind down.
Berg makes the first free throw, bringing the lead back out to 65-60. Makes the second as well. Now 66-60, Loyola Chicago, their biggest lead of the afternoon. 2 minutes and 14 to go. Taya Davis has the top of the key. Pass on the right wing to Donaldson. Top of the arc three, no good for Taylor Donaldson. Hasn't missed many of those tonight, and a trap on the other end. Smartly, Loyola Chicago head coach Allison Guth takes a timeout. Seemed to be a very dangerous trap under their own basket there, but timeout called just in time.
And kind of a funny situation there, too. She calls the timeout as it was looking murky, but as soon as they break the press, the timeout gets officialized, if you will. I don't know if that's a word, but if it's not, it is now. And you can see Allison Guth on the sideline trying to take it back, but understanding she did call it, so she's waving her arms like, no issue, no issue. But just a funny situation there. Just as they break that trap, they get the timeout called.
This Fordham team giving them a lot of trouble on the trap. Not necessarily with a ton of turnovers that way, but just making it harder to get just across half court, which should be a relatively easy task. 60-66, Loyola Chicago leads. Just under 2 minutes to go in this game. Fordham desperately not trying to let this one slip through their fingers. Well, as an aggressive trap happens, eventually it's broken by Alyssa Fisher. Now trapped right outside into the half court. And it'll stay with Loyola Chicago.
High IQ play there by Fisher to know she's in trouble, knock it off the foot of Taya Davis to keep possession.
Pass to the right corner. No good on the side iron from Haj Carr, but an offensive rebound from Tannen. Now top of the keys, Fisher, dribble handoff. Driving inside on the left wing. Pass inside to Tannen. Eventually in the left corner, that three from Fisher, no good. Rebound brought down. Before that, a foul called on the ground. Loyola Chicago will be going to the free throw line once again.
And just brutal there to give up an offensive rebound when the last thing you need is Loyola Chicago getting another possession, taking more time off the clock. And for this to end in free throws is just making a bad situation even worse.
First one is good from the free throw line from Haj Carr. It's now a 7-point lead, 67-60, a minute 20 to go. The second one's good as well, 68-60. Taya Davis, double dribble handoff from McGurk. McGurk now has the top of the key. She drives, kicks out in the left corner to Donaldson. Donaldson moves into the lane. Her floater, no good. Seemingly was in the rim, went out, tried to go back up again with an offensive rebound. No good on that one, but a whistle is called, and Taylor Donaldson will be going the line for 2.
These are the most important shots of the game so far. This isn't going to bring you particularly within striking distance, but it's putting you on your way there. And if you miss these free throws, that's the more important thing. The negative effect of missing these free throws kind of nearly ends the game almost if Loyola Chicago is able to trade more time and score again on the other end.
No good off back iron on the first one from Taylor Donaldson. She was prior to that, she was 1 of 1 on the game so far. On the season, 79% from the line. Second one is good. 61-68. Loyola Chicago with just over a minute to go. Coach Bridgette Mitchell subbing in Lee, subbing out Harris. Press pretty aggressive here from Fordham. Eventually they break it. It's Fisher for Loyola Chicago now, dribbling top of the key. Chivers tried to pass it back to the top of the key, but was fouled by Taylor Donaldson before she could get it there. It's going to be Kira Chivers at the line. 4 points tonight. Make that 5. 69-61 Loyola Chicago. Under a minute left. No good on the second. Now Matilda Flood grabbing the rebound and pushing in transition. Kick out. Mandy McGurk, right wing 3. No good. Matilda Flood eventually got it. Taylor Donaldson in the right corner. She'll take a 3. No good either. Now Mandy McGurk has it one more time. Pass to Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. She'll make a 3. In the same spot, she gets that one to go, and she shortens this Loyola Chicago lead 69-64 with 32 seconds to play.
There is an MVP trophy for that specific possession. Taylor Donaldson would be second. Number 1 there is Matilda Flood. 2 straight offensive boards to pretty much keep this game alive. If they give up possession there, I mean, it already is looking bleak. 32 seconds left, 69-64, but that just keeps Fordham in the game just a little bit longer. And maybe that's all you need to mount a comeback like this, but that doesn't happen without those 2 Matilda Flood offensive rebounds.
Fordham played a very good game. If you would have told us in the first quarter they'd be down 5 right now with 30 seconds left, I don't think either of us would have believed you, but give credit to where credit's due. Allison Goots, Loyola Chicago Ramblers team, came out to play in this second half. Our SID Ethan warned us about their third quarter heroics, and they haven't even nearly stepped off the gas pedal since then. Loyola Chicago taking down the opposite side. Full court press from the Rams.
Loyola running seems to be a football play. They all run grand curl routes on the court.
Fisher and Gallinopoulos eventually get it across half court to Shivers. Shivers having trouble with the ball, eventually gets it back. Pass on the left wing to Fisher, back top of the key to Gallinopoulos. She'll eventually be fouled on the Fordham Ram by Taylor Donaldson.
It's kind of tough.
Her third of the game.
It's tough to find the right time to foul, to give up on the trap idea and foul, but I think they waited just a little bit too long there. Now with 18 seconds left, they let over 10 seconds get off the clock, but a lot of that was attributed to the fact that they were close to getting a steal there, but nonetheless, Gallinopoulos free throws coming here, and what will be the dagger if she's able to can both of these.
First one for Gallinopoulos, it's good. 18, make it 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. 1 for 2 from the free throw line. It's good for Sam Gallinopoulos as a timeout is called on the floor. We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back with Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Back here at the historic Rose Hill Gym, Fordham down 71-64 to Loyola Chicago. 17 seconds left as Fordham tried to make a pass around the perimeter. It was stolen by Loyola Chicago, and Loyola Chicago will seemingly just dribble this one out as Hodge Carr will take a layup on the other end, seemingly putting the exclamation point in this Loyola Chicago victory.
One of those layups where Fordham had already clearly stopped trying. Makes you wonder why she went in for the layup, but listen, there's a lot of dialogue around sportsmanship and what you should and shouldn't do. If she didn't want her to score, she should have defended.
Very true, Julia Moss. The final here in the Rose Hill Gym, 73-64. Loyola Chicago comes out on top. Impressive win for this Loyola Chicago team on the road in the Bronx here in Fordham. Definitely not an easy trip to make, but they make it and get the win.
And for Fordham, they're sick of moral wins. I said it before, but I mean, now they scored 64 points. That's something that you can build on. This is their first time scoring over 60 points in a game since that win versus St. Bonaventure a few weeks ago at this point, honestly. So, you know, offense is getting better. It's just a matter of closing out a game and actually winning.
Absolutely. Fordham once again falling in the Atlantic 10, now 5 straight for this Fordham team. We're going to be joined by Keturah Jackson as she's getting her headset on right now. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us, Coach. Coach, in the beginning of this game, in the first quarter, me and Julia extremely impressed with just the energy your Fordham team played with offensively. What can you guys do to really stretch that for 4 quarters?
We just have to continue to stay in attack mode. We have to make sure that we're running the floor hard, and that starts with securing the rebound, running our lanes, having good spacing.
I want to talk about Kayla Harris for a second. Career high 12 points on 4 for 4 shooting tonight, tacking on 5 rebounds as well. What did you see from her tonight?
I think that she looked to score when she had the opportunity. She was alert. She didn't shy away from her shot. We've been honing down on everyone being available, everyone looking to score, everyone being an option, and I think that resonated with her tonight.
And then Fordham, first time in a while where they played really clutch minutes. What can you learn from this experience, being in the game until the very last minute, that you can take into the rest of A-10 play?
Yeah, I think it's tough. We've had quite a few close games, so I think now we really have to hone in on in-the-game situations, staying composed, whether or not the call goes our way, not letting the refs affect our focus to close out the game.
Coach Jackson, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was Keturah Jackson, assistant coach from the Fordham Ram team. Fordham Rams fall 73-64 here on this Wednesday night. Another A-10 loss. Fordham moves to 1-7 in the Atlantic 10, a 5th straight loss in the Atlantic 10, while Loyola Chicago moves to 5-3 in the Atlantic 10, and a 3rd straight victory for the Ramblers. Fordham just couldn't get it done tonight.
And it's tough seeing 64-73 because that scoreline doesn't really tell the full story, if you will, of what this game actually was. I think there's a lot that you can build on confidence-wise for Fordham. And, of course, as I said before, the score doesn't really tell the story of that. But for 3 quarters, really 3.5 quarters of this game, Fordham was in the driver's seat to get a win against a Loyola Chicago team that is very much outperforming expectations. And for them, they get a 5th win, 5-3 now on the season, further strengthening the case that they should not have been voted dead last in the A-10. But Fordham played quality minutes tonight, a lot to learn from as we look to the rest of this A-10 schedule, but I know they want to win more than anything else.
That's it for us here in the historic Rose Hill Gym. The Fordham Rams fall 73-64 to the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. And this, thank you everybody for listening. We had an absolute pleasure here on this bit of a gloomy Wednesday night.